Bernardo Perez Salazar joins me from Bogota to talk about developments at the peace negotiations. He has years of experience researching armed conflict, and he works for a think tank called the Peace and Reconciliation Foundation. Bernardo, Colombia's president wants to conclude some kind of deal by the end of the year, but it looks like that may not happen. What are you hearing and why?
Well, Angie, you have to keep in mind that President Santos won a very close election recently, and one of the main issues in his campaign was reaching a peace agreement with FARC, and that's not a topic that attracts urban public opinion very much, and that's not something that people believe will come to finish violence. So there's a lack of public confidence on this issue. So he's in a hurry to reach an agreement in order to have the public support. FARC, on the other hand, is not in such a haste because they don't want to be easily dismissed. They feel that since they are at the peace talk tables, maybe the public opinion says that FARC can be dealt with just a talk shop and maybe a few bucks. And they want to make sure that they will have a good share of public investment in order for them to give up arms and to feel that they eventually did contribute to make Colombia a better country. I think that's where both parties stand at this point.
So Bernardo, what are the main sticking points that makes FARC say, you know, we still have a lot of negotiations to do and we will not reach a deal this year? What's the main issue right now holding any deal?
Well, how to compensate victims, I'm sure is a very thorny issue, as your correspondent in La Habana pointed out. FARC will probably have to put some money into compensating victims, but they also will be keen on seeing how the government will put their fair share of public funds to compensate victims. I think that the other important issue is what are the benefits that combatants will get once they leave arms. The army is getting some very good benefits for the soldiers that are fighting the FARC this moment, and so the FARC will be very keen to see that their combatants will get something similar to that. So that's another issue, and I think that the most pressing issue is how will the agreement, once it's signed between the government and FARC, how will that be legitimated? How will that be in Congress? Will that be with a referendum? Will that be with a constitutional assembly? There's a lot of differences between the government and FARC in that particular issue. So I see that the FARC will want to take their time and discuss and show that they can't be easily dismissed as a defeated armed group, and they're trying to show that, and the more time they have in the negotiating table and the more pressure they can keep on attacking oil pipelines and transport infrastructure, I think they feel that they are strengthening their bargaining position.
And Bernardo, very quickly, this conflict has killed 200,000 people. It's been going on for half a century. How significant is it that at least the two sides have reached this point? They're talking about striking a deal.
Well, I think it's very significant. And I think that we've tried peace processes before here in Colombia. We've been peace processes for the past 30 years, and there's a lot of public fatigue, and people do not believe that the conflict will end with a peace process. They feel that the violence will keep going. So one of the important things is that both sides, even though there have been escalations, as we've seen recently, are keen that this is a one-time peace process, and that maybe we won't have another chance like this one in many years to come. So that's why they're sticking to their seats.
Thank you so much, Bernardo. We're out of time. Bernardo Perez Salazar joining us live from Bogota.